Hi, how are you doing? So today we have a very interesting topic. We are going to be talking to Quick Start Consult, the owner of Quick Start Consult, about how to fast track business success while working less. A lot of people feel like they need to work too hard for them to make so much money, but we're going to tell you how to do it without having to work so hard. So if you're interested to learn how to work less while earning more money, then you are in the right space. So um, let's get in. It happens to be a very interesting topic, and you're going to have so much fun doing this. Okay? So, hi, you're already here. I like people who are very fast in coming on board. So, welcome, Jonathan. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you, Nelly. Good
Which part
evening.
of the world are you in now?
So I'm somewhere in Imo State right now.
Wow, wow, wow. I don't envy you at all. Like, you're always
Well,
everywhere. But what we love is the fact that you always bring in your brains for us. So today,
I have to.
yes. All right. So let us start immediately because I don't want anybody to, I want people to get the juice very fast. So if you have your
hmm
friend who is not here, let your friend come
hmm
on board because it's going to be very interesting. So today we are talking about how you can fast track, business sales and everything without having to work so much. So I'm going to allow
hmm
Jonathan to go ahead and talk. So Jonathan, let's get into it.
Okay, thank you, Nelly. So I'll start with a story, and maybe you'll see me doing that very often. So about 10 years ago, when I started in business, I did not know as much. I was a rookie. And I believe that when you are able to raise capital and you have an idea in your head, put that together, money will just flow. So I started my first business. I got the money, I got the location. It was a publishing business. And if you know publishing business, equipment is expensive. I rented the space, put that all together. Great business idea. And I opened shop and started waiting for customers. Uh, Lo and behold, they never came. The areas I believed, oh, this business will thrive here because these people are here, those people will still leave me here and go to where they are going to do
Wow.
their business. And after spending so much and not making anything out of it, I just left it. I was down, I was depressed, and this will not be woman. No, now I can say I was heartbroken, but because of the investment and sweat I had gone in, and this was around I think 2011 ish, 2012, and I just called myself at that time. I said, "Hey, Jonathan, you are an illiterate. I'm an engineer by trade, but an entrepreneur, I was an illiterate." And because I was an illiterate as an entrepreneur, I cannot excel when I don't know what I'm doing. Because to
Yeah.
become an engineer, I had to go to school. I had to
Yeah.
learn. I had
Yeah.
to pass exams. Even
Yeah.
when you start working, you have to still learn on the job. How is
Yeah.
it now that because I want to succeed in a new venture as an entrepreneur, and I just think that money will solve the problem? Just like many people today believe capital is their problem.
Wow.
So I said, you are an illiterate. First thing first, seek knowledge. So I learned the hard way. And do you know that between that 2012, the next set of ideas I had, I did not rush. I took my time.
Mm-hmm.
I went for knowledge. I even got a consultant. I saw, okay, you remember that stuff I was chatting with you,
Yeah.
Izu? Izu came, we worked together, and we started my next business. I launched the second business in 2015. But look at how much time I lost, 3 years, before I could get myself to commit money and start again. But guess what? When I started the second time, that business is over 7 years old now. And that business brings me good money.
Mm.
How did I shorten that gap? Knowledge. I
Knowledge.
sought for the right knowledge.
Knowledge.
Does that mean I did not make mistake? I made mistakes. Even I don't think I'm done making mistakes. But just imagine if I had sought knowledge in 2012. Just imagine how far I would have gone. Even if that business I started in 2015, if I started it today, what I have achieved in 7 years, I can achieve in 3 or 2. Because knowledge shortened that gap.
Yes.
I'll double it back to why we go into business. We have to come to why. Many people go into business and they think of all the fine things they want to buy. We'll have to come to why. Many of us went into business because, hey, one stream of income in this country, before you know, you are in a mess. Some of us went started business because of the lifestyle we want. Some of us felt we didn't have as much growing up. We want our children to have more. Some of us felt I should not be watching aeroplane flying in the sky, right? I should be able to get in one. I should not be hailing people. This is your Dubai. Buy something, come from me. Oh. I should one day be able to take my kids to Dubai. Yes. I should not sit here. I've been thinking, man, Harvard, no be here. Oh. I should be able to go to Harvard. My kids should be able to go to Harvard. We all have reasons why we went into business. But what happens is when we get in, what happens to us? We start pursuing. Okay, Nelly has taught us how to do this. We say we must do everything by ourselves at every point in time. Oh, I must do it by myself. I must do it by myself. I must, flyer design. I'll do it by myself. Oh, sales. So before you know, we're doing it. We're burning out. We started because we wanted to give our family a life. Now, what happens
people
is...
are asking me what the topic is. Let me just say it again. Someone should help me write it so that I can pin it. So the topic is how to fast track your business success while working less. How to fast track your business success while working less. Somebody should help me type it. Is long. Let me pin your comment, please. How to fast track your business success without working less. While working less. Sorry. While working less.
So before you know, the business takes us over. So I went to business so I can take care of my family, have good time, go to the beach, have holidays. Now I started business. My kids are now strangers because every day, once I wake up, my life is a blur. I just wake up before I know it's
my daughter is actually looking at me here now because I just came back now. She has been trying to get my attention. Oh my God, it's not easy, Jonathan. It's not easy. No,
it's not.
Stay there, Michelle. Stay there.
Stay there. So before you know, your life becomes a blur, and the reasons why you went in at the first time. So some of us, we have not even made the money we are pursuing. Yet, no time to even do kids' assignment. And by the way, I'm not talking about something that I'm not aware of, or that I'm a father. I have 3 kids. I want to have more time with them. But I don't have one business. So I've got like 5.
Wow.
I've got like 5, and I've got a day job as well. Yeah, I do. So at the end of the day, you're juggling so many things. So before you know, the essence why you even started
the money safe
is lost. No freedom, no independence, nothing. It's you and your customers every day. Madam, this one has happened. This one, I remember I had a manager and the guy was calling me so often. I was like, it's like I have a manager and I'm still the manager in one of my businesses. The guy was calling me so often. So what I had to do was to train him to certain levels for him to be able to start taking up some stuff. So at the end of the day, you want to fast track that success. You want to first of all seek knowledge to be able to even start in the first instance. Then when you start, you want to find a means that allows you still make the money, but still retain the essence of while you are doing business. Some of us, they say time is money. And in reality, time is money. Now, just imagine all the time you spend doing things the wrong way. Some people say, experience is the best teacher. Mbao. How can you experience everything on this life before you learn? No, you don't have to experience it. I lost 3 years because I started wrong. So today when I talk to startups, they're like, I need money for rent. Once I rent the store, buy this, it's like you just turn off a switch and all the customers will just say, hey, we have been waiting for you. No, it doesn't happen that way. So once I do that, I'll be okay. But no, time is money, and time is beyond money. Time is life. If you've got kids, you know, the moment they step out of your house to go to any school, forget it, they are gone. Because in a year, if they come and spend holiday with you, maybe 2-3 months out of the year. So the question is, you that they stay with for 2-3 months in a year, and the people that they stay with for 10 months, 9 months, who is the real person teaching them life? You get me? So before you know, once your kids are 12, 13, 14, the day they even step into university, gone. You're done. So the question is, what do you enjoy? What do you get? What relationship do you build? Right? My oldest daughter is 6, and I look at her and I'm like, man, this girl, which is the born here? And I'm like, so what have we created?
Like what? You're even looking at this one there that just turned 10 years the other day. And he's here looking at me as in, because that one that was someone like this, I entered secondary school. Like, what are they running to? Why are they running to?
They would grow because time is life. So you can't spend all your time on your business alone. You have to be able to create a balance. I see Coach Solom here, one of my coaches, is one of the people that draw my legs. They come. You have to be able to service all the other aspects of your life. So time goes out real fast. And before you know, one of the things that's setting is burnout setting. And when you're burnt out, you can no longer give your best.
I was actually talking to someone this evening, one of my SI students, and she was telling me that she still runs a one-man business, which is not a problem, right? But she is the only one doing everything, and she is tired. So after she has finished her operations of creating what she's doing, she does not have time to be able to create content or do any other thing because she is really exhausted, and she doesn't want to tire getting someone else. I'm like, you're slowly yourself. You can't do everything. You can't be operations. You can't. They say because of it, she takes a certain amount of order. There's another one that actually told me that she sees messages of people wanting to buy. She's looking at it and she doesn't want to respond because she's overwhelmed. So customers are coming, but you're not collecting order because you're tired. And the people don't understand that burnout is a real thing. Like you will stay like this, you watch your life pass through you, just like that, because and that's when some people start thinking that they are useless. It's not that you're useless. You're trying to do many things at the same time. So please, if you have a friend or someone who you think needs to be here, thank the person to come and join us, because these are real issues that business owners are facing, and they keep themselves. Real issues. So please come up and tag them and come here and talk. Let's talk about it. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, so one of the biggest issues most people face is being overwhelmed and being overworked. And because they are overwhelmed and overworked, they cannot give themselves the best. So even the money you are chasing, you can't get the best out of it. The family for which, the reasons for which you started the business, your family and all of that, you can't still enjoy them.
And you just start to see problem in your family. All of a sudden, your voice is loud. You're insulting everybody. You're shouting at everybody. You just start to see things just happen, and you'll be wondering what's happening to me. All these things are just because of the burnout. You're passing an aggression of something that has happened to you somewhere. You're passing it over to somebody else. It's just too much. Too much.
It is. It is. So at the end of the day, it becomes too much. And because it becomes too much, like you say, let me give you one example that happened, right? So when my wife complains and she's like, hey, babe, this, I'm thinking in my head, stress don't they come? Stress don't they come? So at some point at home, because I knew she was getting stressed with work, one of the things we had to do was like, oh, come, let's hire additional. I was like, yeah, we don't need that. I said, don't worry. if this additional help would make bring some, will reduce some things and give us additional peace, how much is it going to cost? I had to do that at home. But let's come back to the topic. Now, I'll give you an example. When it becomes too much, right? It's not only the burnout for you. If you have staff, you start losing grip. You start finding out that you begin to have
as if you were in my office today. One even said that she's looking for who to help her talk to her staff. Maybe when she's talking, they're not listening to her. Like exactly what happened today. Like she can't, when she talks to them, they're not even reacting. That she has to call neighbors to talk to them, to their staff. I'm like, what happened to get to that stage? These are real issues. So people are suffering with too much load. I understand that the economy is bad, right? And somebody just mentioned here that the reason why people don't hire people is because of they feel they can't pay them. Now, the reason why I feel that is not true, especially the fact that this person, let me use the person who is into who came to meet me, right? This person is already doing a lot of work. So you're making sales, you're seeing your customers are coming. You need help. Why don't you try to factor in that person? I feel so much that sometimes it's because we don't know how to factor in those people's salaries and be able to see how, I don't know, that their money will be turning out from what they have done. They should be able to make back their salaries if they come on board. But so many of us don't even know how to, structure out our business in such a way that works. So
of course.
Jonathan, please, this is wahala especially for women. We are plenty that have this problem.
No, but for women it's even more. For women it's even more because for some of us men, after we've done all of that, we run up and down. The women still have to come home, deal with kids and all of that. And I mean, it's not easy. But what we're saying here is, you can actually be successful and also still not be overworked. Because the truth is this, 80% of the things you're doing, especially as a business owner, does not move the needle in giving you money. 80%.
Oh.
So at the end of the day, because simple. 80% does not give you the money. And because 80% of what you do does not give you the money, what happens is if you studied lean, right? I have studied lean, right? I'm actually a black belter. If you study lean, you'll find out that when you look at waste,
explain what lean is so that those people who don't understand.
Okay, not be human being with lean, no. So what lean actually means is very simple, right? What lean is doing is saying, how can we reduce wastage, right? How can you reduce wastage? And wastage could actually be something that you legitimately are sure is good. But the question is, in lean, anything that does not add to your overall goal is a waste. You get me? Some of us will wake up in the morning. You find somebody that wakes up in the morning at home. Before they get the kids to school, they have gone up and down 5 times, 7 times. Meanwhile, there's a way they could plan themselves and come down once, and the kids go to school. So if really what makes the impact is you coming down once, that extra 4 times you moved is absolutely a waste. So because those extra 4 times do not really contribute. So, but I'm not going to dive into lean today. But the bottom line I'm driving at is you can actually be able to streamline your operations and cut that 80% that is noise so that you can achieve your goal. So to achieve your goal, there are a couple of things that you're going to bring to play. One, knowledge must come to play. That's number one. What you're getting here now is knowledge. One, you have to prioritize knowledge. Getting the right knowledge for your business. I mean, I remember one of my coaches, she said, why you see Mr. JD always shows up every time and his brain is sharp, that anytime she goes out to learn somewhere, she'll jam me there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, even your coach has a coach.
Of course.
Even your coach has a coach.
Yes.
If you prioritize learning and focus on improving what you know, understanding your business, understanding where the money comes from, and so that you can put your energy there. And then for the other operations that don't add as much value, there are several ways to manage them. You could automate, right? You could outsource, right?
Automating. That's when I keep telling people I am like I'm give tools. You know, sometimes when people say everything Nelly knows is too much tools, apps. It helps. It helps. It makes your life easier. If you're
Question:
here, sorry, if you're here,
what is an engineer without his tools?
like seriously, if you're here, you got into NBC Trade Fair Lagos, and I've sent you a link to join. All the messages I sent you from beginning to end, everything you did, it's all automated. All automated. Because we have to change. We have to learn how to have time for family, time for other things that matter to us. All right, go ahead.
So one, like I said, you have to be able to prioritize knowledge. That's number one. Number two is to streamline your operations. One, we have to be able to divide your operations in two. What moves the needle in respect to your overall goal, and what does not. So for example, some people, they are fantastic at teaching, but I mean, if they make a flyer for you, it's horrible. But they still want to. So instead of paying somebody 5K to do the flyer, right? They still want to save that 5K and do the flyer, and they end up spending 3 hours on one flyer. At the end of the day, the flyer is not as great, and they've wasted 3 hours of their life. Yes. Meanwhile, if you give it to a graphic designer, some within 20 minutes can whip out for you. If you give it to somebody that's a bit tech savvy with their fingers,
they'll not even be seeing the amount of money they're spending. They'll shout it forward, forgetting that
they still spend the money eventually.
And the person needs to take 30 minutes. They don't see that 3 hours is money.
No, that 3 hours is a huge amount of money, because it's just like, let me give you one. I mean, some people will not agree with this one, but let me give you an example. I once read, I think I read in a book where someone says, I think Sabri Subi's book, where he says, if your time is such that, let's say you bill 30,000, right, per hour, or let's say you even bill 10,000 per hour, and then if your bill is 10,000 per hour, so that means in a day you're going to earn 80,000, right? But cooking your food will take 4 hours. So the reality is not the food you cooked. The reality is that 4 hours of cooking the food, that 40,000, is it worth it? Or will a cook make your meals for 10K in that 4 hours? That it now makes sense for you to even get a cook to make your meal and pay the cook 10K, and then what you would have done is you would have saved yourself 30K, because you use that actual time to generate revenue. So number one, I say you have to prioritize learning. Number two, you have to streamline your operation. And streamlining your operation, there's a method to it. It's not very hard. You can streamline your day-to-day operation can be streamlined in as little as 20 minutes. You don't have to. So sometimes when people say, "Oh, you have to structure your business," sometimes fear will catch people. Like, I swear, you need
to have a handbook. You need to see. In my office, we don't have handbook. We have rules and regulations, policies that guide us, and everybody knows it. Simple things that me can understand, my staff can understand, and it has been working for us. Just simple rules. Just simple ground rules. So we have the rules for the customer service. We have rules for production. We have rules for management. We have rules for simple. That's all. So but when we hear structure your business, a lot of people want to put in fear into a lot of small businesses. They like to make them feel like, oh, you need to hire a consultant. You need to do this. You need, like, it's as if their hearts just start beating boom, boom, boom. And that is why a lot of people still remain in one, like, I can't pay anybody, I can't pay. Some people don't even know how much it will cost them to hire somebody else. Some people don't even know that if you have a small shop or something, as far as your business is registered, you can actually get in NYC people to come and work with you.
Of course.
Some people don't even know the minimum wage can actually be paid to some people. Like some people just don't even know. Some people don't even know that they're entitled to pay themselves a salary. They don't even check all these things. Nothing. Nobody even cares. They're just scared. A lot of people putting a lot of fear into people. No, you have to structure this. You have to get your handbook. You have to do this. You have to do that. Somebody like, I'm just starting. Why would I want to put all those kind of stuff, in my head? Someone is asking me, I really want NYC. Go and write to NYC office. That's how they do it. Write to them with your business letterhead, and they will send some people to you. As far as
Even that one is even faster. Look for the NYC people themselves.
Even Lagos State even gives you
Free of
people. So
yes,
there are
man.
many ways to hire people, but people just don't know. And the Lagos State owner, I think they're even skilled, very skilled people. They have trained them. They just say, "Come and hire them." Go ahead, though.
I mean, you can. So let me give you an example, right? When I started when I launched my my consultancy in 2015, the first guy I hired was from my church. He was just a school leaver. I mean, not secondary school. He just finished university. He had not even gone for. Okay, I think he was done with NYC. He was doing nothing. I just know that this guy comes to church. He's a very calm guy, and I was like, okay. I brought him in, and I can tell you some of the articles he wrote for my business in 2015, I still value them till date.
Wow.
Do you know that he left when he worked for me, worked for a couple of months? Okay, he had not gone to NYC. He came to me before NYC. When he worked with me, I sent him to Israel for training. From there, he told me that he wants to work in business. I was like, okay. He studied computer, by the way. He now moved to Lagos to work with Israel. When he worked with Israel was a consultant for iFitness when iFitness was starting. From working with Israel, he went to work with iFitness. You saw how iFitness works. From working with iFitness, he now said what he wants to really do is to become a developer. He now joined Andela. Yeah. So from paying him just a little amount of money to work for me, he found his path. So just imagine the same person built one of my apps for me. And obviously, it cost me almost $1 million to build the app. So the same guy I was paying probably less than 50K.
Who is Xavier?
Xavier, yes. So from working with me, he moved that fast. And from paying him probably, how much? $40,000 I was paying him at the time when he started. Now he billed me, how much? Is it almost $700,000 to build an app for me? That is discounted price. So from me paying him now to work for me, I'm now paying him big money. Why? It's the same part. He prioritized, when he came, he was not looking for big money. He prioritized the knowledge. So the second guy that worked with me, I got two guys from NYC. They did their service with my office. They worked with me for a year. I can gladly tell you that one of the guys, he did very well with me. Right now, he works for, I think, Baker Hughes, right?
Wow.
And he's doing very well for himself. That's where I started. I started with my laptop alone. Then they joined me, and from there, I built the organization up. So you don't have to be the one to do everything. So as part of streamlining your operations, there are several ways to do that. I might not be able to show you how to do all of that here, but just take number 2, that you are going to streamline your operation. And then number 3 is to clone yourself. Clone yourself. There are a couple of things that, no worries, not sci-fi.
I don't think I'm thinking when I've cloned myself. Well,
yes,
I think to an extent.
So you might not be able to clone full NaijaBrandChick, but most likely you're going to clone aspects of yourself.
So let me tell you what I did. I did a SWOT analysis. For those who don't know what SWOT analysis is SWOT, strengths, weakness, opportunities, and threats. I did a SWOT analysis and understood what my strengths are, what my weaknesses are, my opportunities and threats. And Then I also understood who am I very well, because am I a starter or am I a
Mm-hmm.
finisher? I realized
Okay.
I'm a starter. I'm never a finisher. So I'm that person, Jonathan. I'm that kind of person who will start off something. I can give you plenty ideas.
Mm-hmm.
All in your face. But if you notice, I always tell you, please remind me of something, because I've already known that I'm not a good finisher. So because you're going
Mm-hmm.
to help me to remind me and help me to push me, that is how I'm able to look for how I can finish. But I'm a
Mm-hmm.
very terrible finisher. But I have plenty ideas to pour on you and share with you and do many things. I execute with speed, but I never finish. So I
Mm-hmm.
hire people who are finishers in my company. So
Simple.
if you come and you're telling me, oh, I like social media, I'm on Instagram, I love you, NaijaBrandChick, I don't hire you. It is my rule, because you are like me and I don't need
Mm-hmm.
an extra me. I hire
Mm-hmm.
someone who is opposite me, who doesn't just want the whole social media thing. They're all about finishing. They're all about, can
Mm-hmm.
we get the crops? Can we get
Mm-hmm.
this thing to the end? Can we get this thing to the, do you understand? So I'm just a total starter. So anybody in my
Mm-hmm.
company are all finishers. I have my staff, Kumbi, she's a very good finisher, currently helping me doing a lot of stuff. My
Mm-hmm.
friend Rita, who is also the operations for Nelly's, a very good finisher. I have everybody that is around me are finishers. And me, I am just Otimpu online, social media
Yeah, be.
starter, talkative, and that is where he ends, and I'm okay. But it took me a
Yeah.
long time to understand that I'm a starter and not a finisher.
Now, just imagine that you have to start and finish by yourself. You will struggle online. You will struggle offline,
Yes.
and that's what you're doing. So the various aspects of yourself. There are some things that actually that you even do, right? That even on social media that you even still need somebody. Because, for example,
So
there's no
someone is
way you
asking,
can
can I,
respond to
do you mind
all.
if I can answer? Someone is asking what is again? Okay, so somebody has answered. And what a starter and a finisher is. A starter is someone who is very quick to execute, to come up with ideas, do
Mm,
things, like they are very quick with everything. They are the ones that when they go for interview, they come up with different talks. They can,
mm-hmm,
they may not, they're fast, they're multi, sharp, 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 sharp. They're always out
mm-hmm,
there, but finishers, they could be out there, but they are more of, how do we get to the end? How do I, they're all about, when will we get to the end? There are those people that attention to details, they
mm-hmm,
are into, let's make this work. They want everything to be exact as it's supposed to be. They are very meticulous. I'm not that kind of person. So in my house now, if you
mm-hmm,
go to my house, like I'm that kind of person who is the scattered one, and my husband is the
mm-hmm.
one very. In fact, even if there's no light that you touch like this, you can find everything that he kept. I'm not like that. So we are walls apart. Like when it comes to
Yeah.
those kind of stuff. So he is a very good finisher. If he does not finish that thing that he's doing, he's not going to rest. But me, another day, we you know we
Remove.
you live to live for another day. Like what's it called? Like we move. I'm always in the move.
Yes.
We move. Yes. So starters are, we move people. While finishers
Mm-hmm.
are, we're gonna take our time. We're gonna finish this. Then we go to the next one. Like yeah, me I know. As I'm talking about it, I've left it. I've
Mm,
moved to the second thing. So if you know who you are, you can just find out who you are. Finishers are implementers, while starters
yes.
are idea bringers. All right. Well,
I agree with you because if you go, let me give you an example. I noticed I studied a couple of some of the guys here that do very well. If you watch, they always have a silent second lieutenant that doesn't make too much noise. So, for example, if you go to Fela Duritoye, you will notice. I'm trying to remember her name now. He's too icy. He's a lady. Like, okay, anything about Fela that you want to do, eh? If you don't talk to her, you are wasting your time. And I noticed that over time, when I watched his method, as good as he is, he's able to sit with his team and pour the vision.
They see me. Is this
Yes,
see
see
me?
me, yes. Yeah, see me, yes. See me. And pour the vision. Now, when he pours it out, these guys are able to like run with it and tell, oh, fella, you are doing this part, you are doing this part. So he becomes the visionary. But sometimes where we burn out and we lose focus is maybe at the beginning of our business we're trying to do everything by ourselves, but we fail to know that at certain stage we have to start letting some bit of the work we even do, even though we are great at it, we have to start letting it go. Because if you don't train those people to be good at it, and you say it is only me that can do it and it will work, what will happen? They will never be good at it. Oh, if I train them, what if I train them and they go? Yes, staff will come and go, but what if you train them and they sit with you for 5? If you don't train them and they sit with you for 5 years, and you keep suffering and smiling? So at the end of the day, you have to be able to clone yourself, right, in aspects of the business so that people can take the work off you and then you can focus on what brings money to the business. Okay? I don't know. Nelly, are you still there?
I'm here. My battery is low. I just wanted to get it. I'm here.
Okay, great. So you have to now focus on that very part of the business, right, that brings you money. So I'll give you an example. If you're a business owner, one of your primary duties is that you are the chief marketing officer of the business. And if you are not marketing your business, you are losing money. You are leaving money on the table and you are losing
Oh,
money every single day. So
painful.
if you are busy creating, maybe you are busy, okay, I have to be the one to create every flyer, create every post, and you are not, that is not actively, maybe you are not actively selling. Oh, I have to be the one to send all the emails, respond to all the emails, respond to all the inquiries, respond to all the DMs. What happened? You are leaving money on the table because you're not bringing in new clients. So one of your core duties would be neglected because you are trying to do all the other supporting duties. Now, you might not be able to pay, okay, I cannot pay somebody that manages there are several people that will manage your social media, for example. There
Miss,
are different levels. There are those
Mr.
that will charge
Jonathan,
you 150.
people give a lot of
Yes,
excuse.
please.
When I started my business and I wanted to be really serious at Nelly's, my
Mm-hmm.
accountant, I made sure
Mm-hmm.
I knew that I needed someone to help me with the numbers because I'm not good at it. I was paying this
Mm-hmm.
guy 20K. He doesn't need to come to
Mm-hmm.
the office. Every day we take a picture of everything and send to him.
Simple.
I still, look for people who can help you with little things. 20K in a month is not going to kill me. No matter how, because I'm going
Mm-hmm.
to work. There's no way my money, even if I make 500K in a month, there's no way 20K was going to kill me, especially for something I know that was very important to my business. Because I was trying to
Mm-hmm.
apply for all those TEF entrepreneur. I wanted to apply for all those Tony Lumelian and all that stuff. So it's
Mm-hmm.
not going to kill me. So the problem we have is that we're always overestimating and not negotiating sometimes. We don't
Mm-hmm.
want to even try to talk and ask, how can we even get help? How do what are
Mm-hmm.
things you can do to get help? Nobody really wants to do that.
Yeah.
20K, that was what I was paying. But now, guess what? The guy is still with me right now. So now what he's now doing is now as an external auditor, handles my taxes and all. But because if I know that I cannot be paying him so much money, I worked so hard to become a brand influencer so that I can tell more people about him, so that all our money, if you pay him 20, pay me 20. The more
And
he's
by the way,
getting plenty
the way
money. Not
he's
only
getting
because,
plenty money now.
do you understand?
So so now he doesn't even need only you now. So now maybe he
Yes.
has gotten somebody who's paying 30K
Yeah.
now.
Some
That
people
will
are
be
paying
handling all the papers.
150K self in a month. So he doesn't need me.
Yeah.
So I used to come and say, please let me just be paying my small money like that. So you have to
Uh-huh.
learn how to use your brain to, go ahead, please.
No, I agree. So at the end of the day, what you want is peak performance. If you focus on that 20% that turns the tide for you, and then you are able to manage that other 80% appropriately, what happens is your performance will peak. So what happens is your workload will drastically drop. And because your workload has dropped, you now have more time to enjoy the things that you should enjoy. And guess what? Because you are focusing more as chief marketing officer, you are bringing in more money. So you work less than you usually do, but because you are bringing in more money, whatever would even go into cloning yourself, outsourcing, automating, gets paid for. And because it gets paid for, it's like, because it gets paid for, your revenue increases. And guess what? Nobody that runs a one-man show can scale.
At all.
See,
Never.
even a bad process beats a business owner that overworks and is overwhelmed, even if you work 24 hours a day.
Yes.
Even a bad process, a process that is not so fantastic, beats you hands down. So the question is, how long can you continue to work the way you are working? For how long? How long can you continue to overwork yourself? You would see, you just wake up one day, your husband will just say, "This business, close it down."
Me or the business. Me or the business. Now choose.
Choose.
When you, and most likely you're gonna start. Then you now start doing all this pity party. That's why my husband asked me to stop the business. When on the normal, you're supposed to have even structured it out in such a way that you don't even need to be there all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You shouldn't even have gotten to the place where they're asking you to choose if you have done what you were supposed to have done in the right time. Do you understand what
in the right time?
So you now start making your husband look as if he's the one that's wrong. You now start having
He's
those
a bad man.
party. You know, this one, see, that's how he just told me to stop working. You know, this man and that. Which nonsense you? Because you have not heard from the guy's side. Do you understand? I see a lot of things, so
I know they come to you, man.
So many, they'll just want you to start pitying them, But at the end of the day, if you really go deeper to ask questions, you will see that they saw the handwriting on the wall since, but they did nothing about it. When I hired staff and I wanted to make sure that I really work on this structure and know that I have time for family, because I'm not saying that my own is the best, because even at home I still work, right? But one thing I did with my staff, I told them that I'm going to go and get pregnant too. I said, I told them, all of them shouted, I said, yes, all of them, I'm getting pregnant. Let me see whether you'll be calling me from labor room to approve something. Let me see whether you'll call me for. When I did it, all of them just say, so now they now talk to themselves, then they come up with the solution before they even, except it is really, really bad that they call me. Do you understand? But that time I used to threaten them. So you call me. I said, I'll come some days, I'll say I'm going to put something in my tummy. I say, you guys, maybe you want to stress someone that is pregnant, like you want to stress me. So when they saw that I was really serious about it, everybody stopped sending WhatsApp messages, everybody started doing emails, sending their daily reports, sending their OPEX, sending their petty cash. They do, everything was properly done. And do you know that even if you go to the bank, like if you go to some banks actually have a way of creating approval levels that you don't even need to be getting. So you can do it in such a way, like let's say me and you and the company can get the accountants can initiate, you will be the first approver, I will be the second approver. So anything that has passed through, to me, just to approve is not a bad thing. Anything that can pass through the accountant, pass through the second person, I should be able to trust and just approve and move on. Do you understand? So people don't even know that banks can actually do that. So that you don't even need to start stressing yourself to be checking the numbers. There has to be people that can help you to do all this. Please go ahead.
I agree with you, Nelly. So you see, I'll give you an example, right? So the question is, so one of the things that happens with me is, so I can afford not to go to the office for 3 months as I am. Really, like my office is empty. Like what I mean is, where my office is, if you go to my office, there's empty. It's just a table and a chair, because I do not spend time there. I go to the office when maybe I have to train or have to have meetings occasionally with staff. I don't go to the office. The office I operate from for my businesses is my home office. Why? Because I move around quite a bit, right? I try to work from home so that at least my kids can see me. Yeah, daddy's in the office. It's easier to see him than daddy is not around and he's always traveling. And when he comes, he's in that office. So I can afford to stay away from my office. My staff might not see me for a month, for 2 months, for 3 months if I wish. The question is, how many businesses can afford that? Why my own system is not perfect? So why my system is not perfect, right? And I've had my own share of problems with that because there are certain things that happen when the boss is not there.
Of course.
But what I try to work with is create systems that allow me manage from afar.
Yes.
Right. So, for example, if they've worked to there's a business venture I launched this year, and I mean this is like the third month, right? And it had to do with just when I just hired a manager for, and it had to do with a lot of back and forth. And I told the manager that the only way you can become good is if you pay attention to details. You can't wait and in your end of month report, that's when you find out that everything's spoiled. So your report has to be daily, so that if something happens, you catch it now and you solve it by the next day before the week. Don't wait for the week, end of the week, and then our partners start shouting that we did not do well in our own obligations. So I started showing him, and he was running up and down. Today, okay, I'm here. That's why I said, no. As a manager, your job is to optimize the work of the team. Your job is not to run up and down.
At all. Everybody forgets their work.
Yes, your job is to make the best use of the people that already exist. There are certain things that phone calls can solve. There are certain things that just a transfer can solve. There are certain things that just a conversation can solve. So sometimes if he sends me a message, sir, this is happening, I'll now ask him, so what do you want me to do? Because I'm not here.
I'm like,
the problem is with you.
I've told them when they come to me, I tell my staff, you have to come with the problem and the solution. If you're coming with only the problem, I'm not even answering. When you finish, I just keep quiet. Even sometimes some of my students, when they're talking to me, they just talk that gist, and I say, okay, what's the question? Because sometimes we are saying a lot of things, but we're not saying anything. And I also let them, I've taught my staff too, and even myself, not even just my staff, even myself, I've taught myself to prioritize what is urgent and important. What is important, but not urgent. Is important, serious, and urgent. So you know how to treat what you have in your hand. Getting home today, because I left them in my office, I said, this is very urgent, and this is very important, and it's serious, but it's not urgent, right? I needed to get home but it's not urgent, but I needed to get home, right? So you have to really prioritize. Sometimes they'll come, because we're also planning things for MDC Trade Fair, and my other staff will come, Ma, please, I want you to approve this thing now. I'm like, okay, this is important for me to approve because it's for MDC Trade Fair, but it's not urgent. Do you understand? And it's not as serious as it is. So keep it one side. People are in my office, and sometimes some people don't, somebody's sending me a WhatsApp message. I have to, in my head, ask myself, which one is more urgent? So that's how I think, maybe because I've worked in an oil servicing company and where we do all this whole THSC thing, it actually helped me to prioritize in my head. What is urgent? What is important? What is urgent and important and serious? What is important but not urgent? What is urgent and just being able to prioritize those things in my head, it has actually helped me a lot. So when you come, even myself, I tell, is it urgent and important? Is it urgent and serious? Can he wait? If he can wait, it means that it's important, but it's not urgent. Do you understand? So we need to start prioritizing. And when you do all those kind of small things, you just realize that, okay, so now I know what I can take now, what I can take there. And that will help your to-do list to actually do better. If you have one, but me, I don't have one. Every to-do list is in my head.
So I think just to start wrapping it up, right? If you take these 3 steps, one of the things that will happen is knowledge is what would help you achieve the other 2. If you don't prioritize knowledge, you will not know how to clone yourself. You will not know how to streamline your operation. You can't even know how to even structure it.
Yes.
So it starts with getting the right knowledge. So if you get the right knowledge, then you can now start working the process. As you work the process, like I said, my method is pretty simple. 20 minutes, all you need is 10 to 20 minutes a day at most. 10 to 20 minutes a day. And if you do this 10 to 20 minutes a day and you do it continuously, you're going to find out that in 3 months, right, you have your whole process structured A to Z, both for you and if you have staff, for your staff. And you would even know that if your process continues to get better and your sale gets better, what will happen is you'll now be able to, at some point, know, okay, I can bring somebody in, okay, I can outsource. There are some activities we do that we only do occasionally. So you don't even need to hire new staff, permanent staff for it. You can just say, okay, for this period, okay, I'm doing this. There's a launch I have coming up. And one of the launch I have planned is, I've just noticed, I know myself, like you told me now, I don't have time. So what I simply did was, I'm discussing with a launch manager. And when the launch manager sent me details, and the launch manager said, okay, for some of the posts that will happen this, I said, wait, I don't have time for posts. It's like, I know I have to post, but me, Jonathan, have no time for post. And the reason is very simple. The time I will spend crafting a post and coming up with an idea, I could be sending a proposal that is worth millions. So I'll rather work on that proposal than spend that time crafting the post. You get me? So if we're going to do
your Parito's principle, well, you know the 20% that brings in the money.
Yeah, simple, right? So I'm having this conversation with you. I have a proposal that I need to write back to. I've already dropped the proposal, and I know, okay, I need to make some adjustments to it. When I'm done with you, I'll carry my proposal and refine it, send it. So when the person wakes up in the morning, it's in his box. So at the end of the day, to get someone to post is not the problem. There are many people that can post. So we can look at that launch and say, okay, can you take up the posting? Do we get somebody that can support, even if it's for the launch, period? And when we are done, we can move. The worst I can do is we'll be like, oh, tweak here. I think this does not maybe represent me. I looked at it, okay, it's fine, go ahead. But telling me to come and sit and be crafting posts and be doing reels, Lord have mercy. You beg me tired. I know now. You beg me tired. But just yes, now you know. But just to wrap this up, so if you get these three right, you prioritize knowledge, you will know how to clone yourself, you know how to streamline your process. And yes, I can teach you how to get that process streamlined so that you can move from being overwhelmed, being overworked, to the point where you can say for yourself that, yes, I'm doing just the most important work and I am actually getting paid even more than when I was carrying all the work when I was carrying all the work on my head. So, and that brings me to practically almost the ending, Nelly. And do you want to unveil the cat, or do I unveil the cat?
Ahead. Just go ahead. It's fine.
Yes. So one of the things I want to help you do is get to that point, start that journey. Let me say, start that journey where you begin to, when you begin to unburden all these things you've carried on your head. And really, to start that, what I did is very simple. One of the things I love doing is to share knowledge, and I teach you from my experience and from the things that have worked for me. So one of the things I want to help you do is move from this chaos you're dealing with to a place where you are calm, you are stable, and you're making the most money you can ever make. So that's why I created a very, very simple program. Nelly Semukudashina, the program. It's called Chaos to Calm. And what I want to do is teach you how to move from overwhelmed and overworked to earning more while working less. So I'm going to drop the link for the program for you. It's super, super cheap. I mean, it's not one of those. It's not.
How much?
I'm not charging. No, it's super cheap now. It's much? Just 3,000. It's 3,500.
Yeah.
It's 3,500. Okay. I mean, if I tell you my day rate for consulting, you will run.
Please leave this for us. I beg. I told him that we're small business owners, please, you cannot be charging us those people's rates, please. Please, I hope I negotiated well for you guys. So if you want to learn, if you're really having that issue, you have a lot of chaos, you're feeling so much is happening in your life, and I'll be in that class, of course. So it's 3,500 naira. Yes, so cheap. Thank God you said so cheap. So click the link in his bio. It's also going to be in the link in my own bio. So click the link and just pay 3,500. I've never seen it this cheap. Like when he was like, he's gonna do this thing, I'm like, is this thing Christmas giveaway? Because for crying out loud, Christmas came very early for us.
Christmas came very early.
I don't think
Christmas
that
came too
learning
early.
what you need to learn, to help your business to be better and your life to be better, and having all the clarities that you need is a lot. So 3,500 naira, not dollars, just in case. Is just
if you want to pay $3,500, I'll still collect.
So please go ahead and register. It's going to be awesome. The class is going to be awesome. And we'll also talk more about it. But I think everybody needs to come on board. This is not one of those things that you are going to move aside, especially if you're a mom. You are struggling to put everything together. You wonder how others are doing it, how they are not overwhelmed and they're still coming online and all that stuff. It's 3,500. Just go to Quick Start Consult DM and also his link in bio, and that is it. Sincerely, it's something you would love. I'll be in that class. I will also be there to someone said the payment link or payment link. Do you have it?
I'm going to drop it. I'm going to drop it now. I'm going to drop it now. Just give me a moment.
It's going to be. I'm going to put it up on my link in bio. Is 3,500. I think we did a good job to get it as cheap as possible. All right, he has dropped the link. Is a seller link.
So yes, it's a simple seller link.
Check, that is his handle. That's his hand. Quick Start Consult. You can go to his page. He's also in the link in his bio. And I also put it up in the link in my own bio. I think this is something you're going to enjoy. If you want to do a transfer, bank transfer, you can also send
if you click the link, right, and you want to do a bank transfer, I'll put the bank transfer details there, so that if you want, you just see it in there and you can take the bank transfer option. So then one of the things I wanted to show was sometimes when we talk about it, we don't talk about how much was lost. Right? I'll give you an example. In 2016, I was hosting my first conference in Lagos. Now, there's this brand I know, a very global brand, and they reached out to me and they said, "We want you to help us facilitate a training somewhere." And I said, "Okay, I'm going to do it." The training was in Saudi Arabia. The training was going to pay me $6,000. Now, guess what happened? I was busy. I was so busy chasing my conference that at the back of my head, the training was in December. But the reality was that the training was in November, and the training was the same date as my conference. So guess what happened?
I didn't get that. Say it again, please.
So I have this training to facilitate in Saudi Arabia. For a training of about 4 days, it was going to pay me $6,000 for 4 days of work. 2016. Now, when I read the contract, in my head, the training was December 2016. The date was there in my head. But the reality, I have a conference in November. But the reality was that the training was in November, exactly the same date as my conference. Wow. So I was so focused that I lost track. So what happens is, when I was posting about my conference, the MD of that company reaches out to me and said, "These dates clash. And what are you going to do?" But because I was just so full of myself, I have this dream, this conference, I will do it. I was carrying everything on my head. And guess what? What happened was, I drew.
Hello? Hello?
was not $6,000. What I lost is that if you've worked with some of the industries in the Middle East, once they like you and trust you, they don't look for many people. They call you over and over again, and you're going to make tens of thousands of dollars from them. So I lost the $6,000. I lost the opportunity to work with that brand that reached out to me to go and do that work. I lost the opportunity for repeat business. I regret that every single time. You know why? Because that market is very rich. All I needed to do was to get into that market.
That's all.
$6,000 was gone. But beyond $6,000, all the opportunities that would have followed never followed, right? And that's because I was trying to do everything by myself. I was so focused, like this is how we'll do it. So at the end of the day, I think one of the things I'm going to say is that, one, we don't want to lose our peace because we have a business to run. We don't want to lose our families because we have a business to run. We don't want our kids to become strangers because we are trying to make money. We don't want our spouses to become our roommates because we're trying to make we're trying to make money, right? And we don't want to try to make money and not make money, yet lose all these things at the end of the day. So we don't want all of that to happen to us. And really, it starts with knowing the right thing to do and doing it early enough. I am still learning. I am so perfecting my process. But what I know is, if I can sit here and tell you that I run 4 or 5 business and still have a job, and not that I have a job, I have a tasking job, and not just that I have a tasking job, I am doing very well in my career. So some people will tell you, oh, you have to end your job before you can run a business, one business. For me, if you're doing something you love, why end it, right? If there's a way you can get the best of both worlds and you can actually have it, then go ahead and do it. I have found a way to work such that I do not need to be present in my business. In short, all I need to run my businesses is my laptop. With my laptop and my phone, anywhere I am, I can run my business. And that's what I want to, and that's the kind of life I desire for myself. The kind of life I desire for myself is to be able to run my businesses from any part of the world.
And that's why you're
say,
going to
we have not seen
right?
this.
Because we want to be living
Of
the
course,
soft life like you.
soft life. If you continue to do it, if you continue to practice it, long run, you would be able to do it. You would be able to live that dream. And it's not the focus is not on the money here. The focus is on why you started what you started, and also being able to actually achieve it. Some people just want enough to take care of their family. You can get that enough. Some people want to go to Dubai, you can go to Dubai. Some people want to just be able to go to Lakaway Lakes in Lagos to chill once in a while and play golf. You can do it. Some people just want to be busy. You can still be busy and still get some comfort from being busy, even if that's your own goal. But you don't have to lose some of the most important things in your life just to get that done. Okay, so if you're still interested, you want to get started, it's just a token. I put the link up there, and then we can move.
Just right now, and click the link in their bio. Just do it right now. He will drop the link for you. This is giveaway, Christmas giveaway. Sincerely,
Christmas came in August.
Everything in the giveaway.
Christmas came in August.
Does this apply to product? It applies to all businesses. It's about yourself.
Products is business even worse.
It's yourself first. You have to first find yourself before you even run a business. Thank you so much, Jonathan. I think this is clear. So we're going to be able to be your DM. Okay.
Yes, no worries. Just be in the DM. We'll get it done for you.
All right then. Thank you so much and have a nice day.
Okay, thank you so much, Nelly. I enjoyed myself, by the way.
All right, take care.